Eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a beggar. Welcome to Mr. G's. Today we will cook a full English breakfast, also known as full fry-up. Why the name full fry-up, you might ask? Well, it's simply because everything we've got here is fried. Bacon and sausages, mushrooms and tomatoes, eggs and toast. Everything's fried. Well, except baked beans. These we will simply warm up. In this video we will use canned baked beans. Should you, however, be interested in home-produced baked beans to improve your English brekkie even further, check the video on baked beans on this channel here. Why is full English breakfast such a big deal? You can see that easily when you draw a comparison to what Europeans typically understand when they think of breakfast. After all, there are good reasons why the Brits differentiate between their full English breakfast and the continental version. The continental breakfast, let's call it European breakfast, is seen as a light breakfast in a hotel or restaurant, etc., that usually includes baked goods, jam, and fruit. It also comes along with coffee. Yes, it's pathetic. Why it's called light, you will likely understand once you have finished the full but also incredibly heavily tasty and calorie-laden English breakfast. I'm sure you will love it. Good morning. The history of the full English breakfast is fairly interesting. The full English breakfast is an old English tradition started by the gentry, the highborn, the nobles who were landowners who did not work. Oh dear. But had plenty of time for simply being there. Since they rented out their land to farmers and lived from the rents, the farmers had to pay them for being allowed to work the landowners' estates. What a system. Anyway, the gentry had the time and the money to offer visiting friends, relatives, neighbors, business partners and such a hearty breakfast. Being a landlord, breakfast was a symbol of hospitality, a method to display the wealth of your lands, and last but not least, a way to show off the skills of your cook. Naturally, the nobility did not cook their own food, since they saw work or even jobs as a primitive form of existence reserved for the common people. However, the quality of your cuisine you could offer your guests sent signals to your peers how rich you were. By the way, greetings to Miss Patmore from Downton Abbey. I'm a great fan of your work. Here you can see what we need for our full English breakfast, also known as full fry-up. We need bacon, sausages, mushrooms, tomatoes, eggs, toast, baked beans, butter, salt and pepper, and olive oil. The number of tools we need is very little. We need frying pans, spatula, wooden spoon, and a casserole, also known as saucepan. Let's start the full English breakfast, the full fry-up. The first thing we have to do is we need to heat the oven at 80 degrees. The reason is simple. We will fry the ingredients of our breakfast one after another, but we need to keep them warm to serve them at the same time. We will start with the bacon. Right, here we can see how we fry our bacon. We will fry the bacon on medium heat, 3 minutes each side, to give them the nice crispy taste we want. By the way, Will we need oil? No, we won't. Simply because bacon has got enough fat already. After 5 or 6 minutes of frying time, you should have reached the crispiness you want. Once you're finished, place the bacon on a plate and send them into your oven at 80 degrees to keep them warm. Next, we will fry the sausages. The frying time varies between 15 and 20 minutes. We will fry them on low heat in order to give them that nice golden brown shade. By the way, here we have the baked beans, and we will warm them on lowest heat possible as we fry the other ingredients. Once the sausages have the color you want them to have, it's time to send them into the oven to wait for you. Let us go on with the mushrooms and the tomatoes. We will fry them in the pan for 2 or 3 minutes each side using olive oil. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. As the mushrooms and the tomatoes are frying, you might want to season them with a little bit of salt, pepper, and a knob of butter. A bit of salt. A bit of pepper. And a knot of butter to enrich the flavor. By the end, we want our tomatoes and mushrooms to look like this. Again, we arrange them on the plate and send them into the oven to wait for us. Finally, we will fry the eggs and the toast. So first of all, take a little pan here and crack the eggs into that pan and fry them in olive oil. 1, 2. Don't forget to season them with salt and pepper. A little of this and a little bit of that here. The toasts we will butter on both sides, and then fry the toast on low heat for 2 or 3 minutes until they have reached a beautiful golden color. That's it. The fried eggs, the toast, and our full English breakfast. Now would you look at that? There's nothing better to start a day with. A full English breakfast. Just perfect. I'm terribly sorry to disrupt your closing remarks. Admittedly, for a Germanic version of an English breakfast, it looks fairly acceptable for you people. But something seems to be missing, and I'm afraid you should jolly well know that, Jerry. Thank you for your kind words and your well-hidden criticism, but what on earth is missing? we've got it all here. Bacon, sausages, tomatoes, mushrooms, toast, eggs and baked beans. I've done my research properly.
Properly on a proper breakfast, maybe, but certainly not fully on a full breakfast. Blimey, what a fun pun. Now here's the secret. It's pudding. Don't you like pudding, my German friend?
Do I? I love pudding. Who doesn't? What about some delicious sweet vanilla pudding? Actually, it's a good idea having something sweet next to all that greasy stuff, right?
I am sorry again, and truly vexed, but you are mistaken again. I'm talking about black pudding.
You mean chocolate? No problem, bloke. That's equally good, and I've got it all here.
Must I correct you again? It very much seems so. You Germans have a total misconception of the term pudding. Now here's the story and proof why our English perspective is right. The term pudding stems from the Latin word botulus, meaning sausage, or as you Germans say, Wurst. The word was brought to France, and in Old French they enunciated the term boudin, meaning sausage, or Wurst, as the Germans say. In Middle English we pronounce the term pudding, referring to meat-filled animal stomach. Can you taste it? And then, later, in US American English, they made pudding a milk-based dessert. Blech. Now keep that in mind. The sweetened modern continental version of a milk-based dessert stems from the US, maybe even caused by some Germanic immigrants. Thank you, America, for enriching our language again. Now, would you please complete our full English breakfast fully by adding some slices of black pudding? Please fry each side for 3 minutes to give them the crispy crust to match our English taste. Would you please?
Here we go again. Let us fry our English friends some black pudding, also known as blood sausage. We need a pan, some olive oil, medium heat, 3 minutes each side until crispy. Here you go, my English friend. A full English breakfast with 4 slices of black pudding. Happy now? Oh yes, very much so. What would be a full English breakfast without English pudding? Enjoy. There is no accounting for taste. However, when it comes to pudding, I prefer the continental version.